Have I ever told you of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about die. He became so powerful, the only thing he was afraid of was losing his power, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. The apprentice killed him in his sleep. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
Welcome to Strange Old Men in a Strange Old Cave, where we talk about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. I'm Tommy Hale, this is Harrison Smith. Bro,
what's up, gangsters?
I must bravo for that intro.
Thank you, Tommy.
However, you actually did forget the part where it says, I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend.
That's what I said.
No, you just said it's a Sith legend. You didn't say it's not a story the Jedi would
damn it. Damn it.
I was still impressed, though. Like, I can tell you I wouldn't have remembered it. So, like, had to blow my nose. So it's pretty impressive, actually.
Alright.
So I tip my cap to you.
Thank you, Tommy.
So Harrison, what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. What are we going to talk about today? You wanted to talk about primitive technology and
You wanted to talk
television. Well, you brought it up.
I brought up the primitive tech, but then you're like,
Yeah.
hey, let's talk about some TV stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, we talk about movie stuff all the time, and I don't know. Primitive technology is something that I don't even fully understand, and I think this is your shining moment. So
this is my shining moment to talk about something I'm passionate about.
Yeah. So Harrison, why don't you, I guess, briefly explain, or maybe not even briefly. I don't know. You can describe it however you want, but describe to the audience and me, for the most part, primitive technology and your fascination with it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Tommy, primitive technology is a hobby in which you build things, do things in a primitive manner, like people in the Stone or Bronze Age would. For example, making a stone hatchet with only primitive tools. Now, it's not like you're hobbling around a cave, hitting a deer with a club.
Or a strange old cave.
Or a strange old cave.
Because that's our thing.
That's where we live. No, it's like actually putting real effort into constructing things. For example, the very popular YouTube channel, actually so popular that the last I heard he might be doing a collaboration with Adam Savage from Mythbusters. But anyway, the primitive technology YouTube channel, which is just a guy living in Australia, is incredibly popular right now.
Is it? Sorry to interrupt, but
don't worry about it.
Is it popular into the people who are into primitive technology? Like,
oh no, it's popular all around.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he has a couple million subscribers right now.
Oh wow. Because I remember you definitely talking to me about it, and you even showed me some stuff, and it was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, but for example, he built a house, not like a wood house, but he built not just like a permanent house in the woods of Australia with no modern tools.
Oh wow! So is it more like a cabin, or is it kind of more like a hovel?
It's a mud hut, basically.
Okay, so he's kicking it back to like ancient Mesopotamia.
Yeah, well, not just ancient Mesopotamia, but Africa. Anybody who used mud huts. Mud huts are great.
But it's that general area in case people are curious where mud huts were popular back in the day.
Just a dude in I think northern Australia doing this in his neighbor's yard. But we have a friend, Tommy and I have a friend named Kat, who
With a K.
with a
She's
K.
Cool cat.
With a
She
K.
saves the kids.
Oh God, Tommy. No, but Kat and I are both interested in primitive technology, and right now, actually, we're in the process of building a Stone Age shelter in my backyard, with materials, not tools, but materials, from that were common in the Stone Age, which is that's pretty neat. It's kind of a fun little project.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm interested in primitive technology because like you wonder, you wonder like, how did they do it back then? And then you watch someone hit a rock against another rock for 2 hours, eventually producing like an axe head, and you're like, that's how they did it.
Oh.
That's how that works, you know?
You kind of get. Would it be somewhat of an aha moment? Well, not really. Not necessarily like an aha moment, because that's more like the Mr. Faith trigonometry thing.
Mm-hmm. Who, Mr. Faith is our old history teacher
He was our middle school history teacher, probably one of the best history teachers I've had.
best teachers, period.
Yeah, one of the best. And he told us a story. He always told us a lot of stories about his life, because he's like, he seems like kind of an average guy at first, like if you just kind of at first glance, but then he talks and then you realize, oh no, this guy, I'd say he's rather unique. He's like, in the sense where like, you don't find people like him exactly.
Meaning people like him. He's just, you don't find people similar to him.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he's incredibly sarcastic, and also probably one of the, like, if he walked in a room, he'd probably be one of the smartest people in that room. Except not with math. He said that, no.
Yeah, he's not good with math. He's self-confessed not good with math.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a very smart guy. He has his master's in history, and he's a middle school history teacher, but he's like, I'm gonna get my master's, and then he's gonna pay off student loans for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Which
is not fun.
Yeah, unless they're like, you know what, you can go for free. Probably not, because they don't do well. I don't know. Do you think graduate school like has scholarships, kind of like let's say, because full ride scholarships are a thing.
Yeah, but they are really hard to get.
Yeah.
You have to be really special to get one of those.
I personally think if anyone would deserve one, it would
Mr.
probably
Faith.
be Mr. Faith or Kylie from the dance hall. So Kylie, she's a chick from our dance studio. She's incredibly smart and very hardworking. Like she's applying to all sorts of places. Like she applied to Harvard and MIT. And it's like, if anyone deserves to go there, it's like she does, and she should get full ride because, I don't know, I think she deserves it. She's one of those people where it's like, no, she should get it. But that's my personal opinion. Harrison, I don't know your opinion on that, but.
What the Kylie deserves a full ride? I don't know Kylie as well as you do, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if I was more familiar with her, I'd agree.
But yeah, mainly because it's like, I don't know, I've been in dance longer. Mine's the voice crack, of course.
Longer.
Ah! But yeah. So it's weird. It's kind of weird because like apparently I'm older than her. But
yeah, I thought.
But she's graduating high school this year.
She's really I thought she was at like 20.
I never got 20. I mean, I kind of got like the similar age vibe, but whatever. Yeah. Anyways, primitive technology. She has nothing to do with it, nor does colleges. I mean, unless you study like anthropology,
which I'm looking to do.
Yeah. But even then, you probably don't go down to actually making primitive tech stuff.
I mean, there's a concept in archaeology called experimental archaeology, where
Oh.
basically you find an axe head in the desert and you're like, huh, I think I know how this axe head is made. Um, okay. Now, Tommy, have you ever found a piece of obsidian in the woods?
I don't
sure
think
you've
I've. I'm not. Nothing that I can really remember, but I have found like little mortar holes and like
Mhm.
rock. I actually have one in my yard.
Oh,
Next time you're
that's
over,
cool.
I should show you. It's pretty interesting. It's
Alright.
like in my side yard. And it's
That's pretty neat.
nature's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's neat.
Nature walk.
That's
Um,
pretty. All right.
But like
Anyway,
no, yeah, it's in the side of my. It's like this giant rock that's like sticking out of the ground, and inside there's little mortar holes, and we're not gonna tell anyone about it, or like by anyone I mean like any sort of museum, because then they're gonna like destroy our house and make a giant like digging site, and it's like, hey man, that's my house. I'm not
that is my house
that is my house. Those are my chicken McNuggets from McDonald's.
from McDonald's. Now, I learned from Mr. Rodman, who is one of the teachers at our school and is an archaeologist, anthropologist, that you can tell which pieces of obsidian have been actually used to make tools by the way they're shaped.
Oh, okay.
Now it isn't just like, oh, this one is shaped like an arrowhead. It must have been an arrowhead. No, it's basically when you chip obsidian with another rock or something like quartz or agate, you actually create little shockwave lines like a wave.
Oh, so like
And
I guess when you think of a sorry to interrupt.
oh, don't worry about it.
So like when you see I guess when I picture an obsidian arrowhead, I imagine like the sides kind of jagged or a little wavy.
A little bit, but like
They're not
basically
straight.
no, but like but also like when you chip the piece of obsidian off and if you pick it up, the flat surface will be, instead of being completely flat, it'll be ridged with
Okay.
little hills.
Okay.
Now these hills are caused by the shockwave line.
Okay.
And that's how you can, if you find a piece of obsidian in the woods, you can look at it and you can actually discover whether or not it was used to make something else, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
Which is that's pretty neat. Now, I really don't have any more to say about primitive technology other than it's cool, and if you want to do it, but do your research first. And also, if you're gonna nap rocks, which is napping is chipping rocks into a certain shape, wear eye protection. Is if you're doing it with particularly sharp or hard rocks, you can get rock flakes in your eye, which can damage and potentially remove your eye. So, wear eye protection, kids.
Okay. I guess some questions like, what are some primitive technologies things that you're currently working on?
Well, Kat and I actually have this in my drawer right now, my desk drawer. I'm holding it right now.
Oh boy.
Kat and I are working on making a stone axe. It's actually called a Celt axe,
Okay.
and the axe head is in my. I'm holding the axe head and looking at it right now. We found a rock somewhere. I don't remember where I found this, but we're chipping it into shape with other rocks with this agate we found. I don't actually know where the agate is. That's a huge problem. And yeah, I'm sure I'll find it somewhere. Anyway, we're chipping this into shape to make an axe head, which is pretty neat. And then Kat is the one doing the actual chipping, and I am the one making the handle.
You're supervising.
Well, I'm not super. We pretty much have equal knowledge, so I'm just chipping the handle into shape.
Okay.
And we're also building the primitive shelter, which is just like an A-frame triangular shelter made with birch poles lashed together. And for the walls of the shelter, we're using these reeds that we stole from the neighbor's yard. Anyway, we're using these reeds. Actually, they did call us a little while ago and give us permission because we left a note on their door asking to use their reeds, and they called us recently and said, "Yeah, you can use our reeds, so we're not stealing anymore." Anyway,
You just haven't told them that you've been taking them.
no. Well, I think they knew that we were taking them because Oh, I get to tell the story of Drone Man, and I think I've already told you the story.
Oh, you've told me, but tell the audience because it's a really funny story.
Okay, so Kat and I were doing our clandestine activities in this yard, and we hear this like, and we look around and we see this little quadcopter flying around, and we look at it, and we look around and we see a shirtless guy looking straight at us.
Welcome to the family.
With his quadcopter controls, like with his quadcopter controller, he's just kind of hanging out, and we grabbed our reeds and we skedaddled. So that was pretty spooky.
So where is this in relation to your house? I'm curious.
It's basically just right around the corner.
Okay, like
It's just like a short walk from there to my house.
okay. Wait, is it like around that little bend to the right?
No, it's to the it's to the left.
Okay.
Anyway, it's pretty neat. It's a good project. And oh yeah, also during the summer, we were planning on planting potatoes, but that was kind of just a pipe dream. That's really hard to do.
And you also would probably want to look up like season, like.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not much of a.
I think potatoes
planter.
are a winter plant.
I wouldn't know, but
Oh.
that'd actually be pretty cool if you guys like start a garden.
Yeah, we were thinking about growing flax, because flax can be used to make rope, but we figured out a better
And
way to
cookies.
yeah. No, but we figured out a better way to make rope, which is make it out of wool. And I am actually holding some wool rope that we made.
Oh yeah, I
holding
think I
it.
remember that.
It's really soft. Like I kind of want a blanket made out of it.
Yeah. And if you guys go to wherever because is it a certain type of sheep that has cashmere, or is it or is it something you like make, like do you get like raw wool and then make it a certain way?
We basically just get raw wool with the lanolin taken out. Lanolin is this certain compound that sheep produce to make wool waterproof. But we were like,
okay.
no, we don't need it makes wool feel really greasy. So we basically just took we basically bought wool with the lanolin taken out. It's called roving. Wool roving, and then we wove it into wool. I mean, we wove it into rope. I'm holding a length of rope right now. It's about a foot long. Stretching it, I kind of flung it at my cat, who's laying on my bed right now.
Which one?
Panda. She's startled.
Because if it was Peanut, she'd probably be meowing to the microphone, wanting attention. And then she'd like somehow find me and then start trampling all over me. That's what frickin' Peanut did. When we went to watch Skyfall.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Peanut was all over Reina.
Yeah, but I mean, Raina likes cats.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of cats.
I can tell.
I don't know. It's weird having like an animal just like standing on top of me while I'm trying to sit down on a couch. Trying to watch Daniel Craig shoot some guy or get shot.
I mean, he does get shot.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Skyfall.
Watch Skyfall. It's awesome.
Well, if you haven't seen any of the James Bond movies, if you want something modern, oh, bless you. But like if you want something modern, definitely watch Casino Royale and just start from there and watch Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is also great.
Yeah. Really great start to kind of kicking off the series. And even though that like Quantum of Solace and Spectre weren't the best, I'd still recommend watching them just to kind of finish things. Although I've heard rumors that Daniel Craig was going to be the next Bond, but then wasn't Idris Elba like also in speculation? Like rumor of him being the next Bond?
Yes. Oh, yes. That there was some speculation, which would have been great because I love Idris Elba.
Yeah. Although they'd have to like restart, you know. Or maybe what if they, I don't know, maybe made another thing, like another movie in the James Bond universe, but it wasn't James Bond. He was like a different agent, 008.
Mhm. Wait, really?
No, I said what if.
Oh, oh, yeah. What if Idris Elba, like, what if James Bond died and Idris Elba took over his? Oh, what if Daniel Craig dies, and then Idris Elba takes on as 007?
That would be pretty interesting. I mean, I'd hate to see him die.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone would. Although maybe
I love
maybe Daniel Craig might be a little relieved. He might, but then I don't know if Daniel Craig likes playing. Like, I don't know if he hates playing James Bond.
I think I've heard that he's not super cheesed about it.
I mean, so I guess he kind of has the whole Harrison Ford thing with Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a way, you can't really blame him because it's
What?
like you can't really blame Daniel Craig for kind of getting tired of James Bond after a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, everyone's gonna know him as, oh, hey, he was James Bond, which
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
not
like
gonna.
I feel like that's probably something that he's okay with because it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's the starring role of his career.
yeah. But I mean, he kind of like how every artist or and I mean like music artist, like
Mhm.
their most popular song is probably the one they don't like playing the most because they have
Yeah.
to play it the most and they get tired of it.
Yeah.
And so that's probably might be Daniel Craig's thought. I don't know.
Mhm.
Harrison Ford's was a little different about being Han Solo because he thought he was just a little bland, which, I mean, I can kind of see it, but it's like, at the same time, it's like he's not that much different to Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty much the space Indiana Jones. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, there's space Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Maybe Harrison Ford, he liked being able to have facial hair in Indiana Jones, and maybe George Lucas was like, nah, fam, you can't have facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame, because Mark Hamill has facial hair in Episode 7.
Oh, I'm so excited
Which
for
is-
Episode 8.
Yeah, what is it, The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi!
If it's The Last Jedi, then does that mean Luke's gonna die in that?
I don't know, Tommy. Just don't jinx it.
I mean, I would not be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe it's a story about The Last Jedi, and maybe it's about how Rey is somehow a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then again, aren't Siths in a way like they're still Force users? So,
Yeah, they are.
but it's
By
like
the way, everybody. Oh, so sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, because if they're a Force user, does that mean that don't all Siths start out as Jedi?
Mm-hmm. No.
Not necessarily, but the original ones were, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
No, I don't think so. Actually. Never mind. I was wrong. I'm glad. Okay. Now, people who have listened to the other 5 episodes of this podcast have learned by now that we don't really stay on one topic for long. We go on tangent on tangent on tangent. But right now, I think I'm just gonna go on a rant about how I think now this isn't specifically about the Sith, but I want to talk about how stupid some of the things in the original Star Wars extended universe were,
Okay,
and how happy.
I was about to say, hold up. Original?
Hold
What's stupid
up.
in the original Star Wars?
No.
Canon or not canon?
Yeah,
just
the
extended.
original, the original extended universe. Because some of it was so garbage.
Yeah. All right. So continue. So go on your rant. Here's the
I'm just
soapbox.
happy that, apparently in the old canon, Darth Sidious got resurrected a couple times. He got cloned or something, which is stupid. Really dumb. I think IG-88, the assassin droid, took over the Death Star and tried to kill all humans with it.
Wait,
I think.
Is that... That's kind of...
Dumb.
That's more than kind of dumb. That is dumb.
Really dumb.
It's like, come on. He's a freaking droid, and the Death Star also exploded. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that wouldn't have happened because, like, Darth Sidious or Darth Vader probably would have been like, they probably could have sensed something. And then Vader would have been like, hold up, this ain't right, and then just take him down like that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, but that's it. So continue.
I mean, yeah, there's just so much dumb crap. Also, the Yuuzhan Vong. I've talked to you about this many times.
I think that theory is actually pretty cool. I don't see
what,
it.
that Palpatine built the Death Star to fight the Yuuzhan Vong?
I think that's kind of cool, but I don't think it's like I don't like if you watch like the movies, that's not it. It's like that's not a thing. But I mean, thinking about it, it's like I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like it's.
But it's not at all mentioned or even hinted in the movies. So, I mean, it's a cool theory. I like it. But that's as far as I'll go. I don't think it should be in the movie or even in canon because it's not at all mentioned.
Yeah, it's not a very good. Like, there's just a lot of dumb stuff, is what I'm trying to say in the extended universe, and like I guess there's a lot of cool stuff too. Like the concept of the Yuuzhan Vong could have been really cool, but it was just badly executed.
Yeah, like if perhaps it was at all mentioned in any like of the movies, that'd be pretty interesting. But then also, I don't know, that would mean that hey, this is like a build up or something. But even then, I guess one of the movies could even briefly touch on it, like the prequels, for example, because that's the only big thing I can understand, or can kind of think would be the best way to introduce that would be maybe some sort of old Jedi prophecy or some sort of old prophecy mentioning some sort of other beings or force coming into the galaxy, but not saying who they are or even hinting, just saying, yo, someone's gonna come and like wreck some stuff. Heck, like, that could even be the prophecy itself. Yoda's telling all like the Jedi Council, and he's like, the prophecy reads, some people are gonna come to the galaxy and wreck some stuff. And he's like, no, guys, I'm serious. He's like, takes out the tablet or whatever, the digital tablet, because you know it's Star Wars. So he just shows it to everyone.
A holo tablet.
But it looks like stone anyways.
It's I don't.
Or if it was gonna be truly primitive, it would be like an iPad. Because an iPad compared to all the tech in Star Wars is like primitive.
Okay, well, I mean, it kind of is though. Like, you can why if I read. Oh yeah. Also, how stupid is this, Tommy? Dig on this, dog. Apparently, according to either the old canon or the new canon, hyperspace ships crashing into a planet can like destroy the planet. Why isn't that used more often? Like, why even have the Death Star? Why not just crash like an asteroid at hyperspace speed into a planet to destroy it? That's so dumb.
Yeah, that does, and like, when they say a ship, do they mean any type of ship?
Well, they mean like basically the thing is that
or would it have to be like a like what's the like largest class Star Destroyer?
Eclipse.
Yeah, an Eclipse.
It's like many times bigger than the Executor.
And that's Darth Vader's ship, and that's all.
Yeah,
isn't that
that's
already?
Like already. It basically is like
standard.
the eclipse to the Executor is as the Executor to a normal Death Star. It's huge. It's pretty crazy, my dude.
So, like, because when you said that, I'm just like, so wait, does that mean that you can just crash the Millennium Falcon into a planet and the planet would explode?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, why? You could blow up an entire galaxy if you hyperspace the Death Star into something, because the Death Star is able to go to hyperspace.
Yeah, I feel like we always forget that the Death Star can move around in space because
It's just like it's not just a planet.
that's no moon.
That's no moon. It's a space station that can move.
Yeah. Because, I mean, does the, like, International Space Station also move? Like, can it?
It has thrusters, but basically it's orbiting so low that it scrapes the atmosphere.
Ah, okay.
So it has to boost itself up to stop its orbit from decaying.
Okay. But but that still means it has the possibility.
It has thrusters. It can't it can't move in the sense that it can fly around. Like it can.
But it's a possibility.
It can change its
orbit.
Orbit.
Okay, but I mean,
I
if you had powerful enough rockets or thrusters, it can move around in space.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. So then
You'd have to put them in really weird places, though.
No. Well, yeah. So then you can just throw those on the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah. And that also doesn't really make a whole lot of sense even in a physics sense. I mean, granted, it's freaking space monk Jedis with lightsabers fighting bad guys, but
Which is pretty awesome.
It's space adventure in space, yeah. But I mean, you still have to have you can't be super over the top.
Yeah, like crashing a Star Destroyer size object into. Okay, yeah, I was talking about this earlier, and basically like the rule is like an X-wing sized object can destroy a continent, and like a Star Destroyer can destroy a planet.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I mean, yeah, it's
Super
like, yeah, sure, it's moving at like the speed of light, but that would just mean it's like.
Well, it's moving faster than the speed of light.
Oh, is that what hyper?
Yeah, hyperspace goes faster than the speed of light, even though they call it light speed sometimes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just the speed of light. Okay, but like, even though, don't mean to bring physics into space adventure in space, but that still wouldn't do anything. Like, it would just plant it into the ground, and yeah, would it cause a crater and an explosion? Yeah. Wouldn't destroy like a continent.
No, yeah, it's dumb. It's super dumb.
Yeah. Although there has been like even in Star Wars Episode 7, you see a crashed Star Destroyer on a planet.
Yeah.
That planet's not destroyed.
Well, I think it's implied that it didn't fall from hyperspace. It just fell from orbit.
Yeah.
Which is not how orbit works. You can't fall from orbit.
No, you have to already be in the
can.
atmosphere. Or
Well,
like
there's it's a specific way that orbit works, but
okay. But either way, space adventure in space. I really like that scene with the crashed Star Destroyer.
yeah, no, that's
I
a really I
like
like the Episode 7. Good movie.
Something that's also cool is that in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2, I think, you like, I'm not sure if it's in the second one or actually in the game, but I know that there's like a picture of Starkiller like bringing down a Star Destroyer with the Force.
Yes, that's in the game. It's like a stupid QuickTime event, like all
the cool,
the cool things,
or all the things you think are going to be super cool, and they just.
And then it's just a QuickTime event.
Was that in the first game or the second one?
I think it's in the first one.
But yeah, I mean, like, showing like Force powers like that, I think is really cool because that shows like how powerful the Force can actually be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but like showing that, it's like, holy crap, that means that freaking Starkiller is insanely powerful in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, do you again, I don't know all the canon and stuff behind specifically Starkiller and his character, but do you think that he would have more like force power than like Darth Vader or like
No,
Darth...
I don't think so.
But then again, maybe probably Darth Vader isn't just like bringing down Star Destroyers,
No, yeah.
because that costs time and Imperial money.
You gotta get that Imperial money, son.
Yeah. It's also kind of funny how stormtroopers are like the elite soldiers, but
Mhm.
in the movies it feels like they're like a dime a dozen
Hmm.
and miss a lot.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
like there's parts in God, never mind.
But I think that's pretty interesting. I still don't necessarily count that as like an actual thing that they're like supposed to be the elite troops,
Yeah,
because you don't see because you don't see like regular Imperial foot soldiers.
Well, apparently regular Imperial foot soldiers, you know the guys in the AT-STs on Endor? That's what they look like apparently.
and also the AT-ATs.
Are awesome.
But yeah, those are also the pilots. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like if stormtroopers are supposed to be the elite troops,
Mhm.
why do they have them all around everywhere?
I don't know because
So-
I mean if the galaxy has like trillions of sentient life forms, then I mean the Empire has a pretty vast well of manpower to draw from.
So plus, but in a way it also makes like another reason why they probably don't do that is because in the original movies those were the bad guys, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it would be kind of weird if all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's no more stormtroopers. There's these like Imperial foot soldiers. That'd be
Yeah,
kind of
they're-
weird. Like I can tell
yeah.
you, I wouldn't. I'd be like, dude, just bring back stormtroopers.
Yeah, stormtroopers are so much cooler than little gray dudes in Nazi helmets.
Yeah, I mean, those guys definitely add a little bit to like.
Yeah,
I
they're
like
cool.
that they're pilots or like specifically, or drivers of like the walkers. But like, if they, because I don't know about you, but I think it'd be a little weird to see a stormtrooper driving like a walker or something.
Mhm.
Because we're probably
Yeah,
so
you're right.
used
You're
because
right.
we're like so used to them. Like
I mean, well, we've seen like the you know the ones on Hoth.
Yeah.
They're like stormtroopers.
no, they had like the weird helmet with the visors,
Yeah, I mean they're wearing similar armor, but
but they're like the gray dudes.
mhm.
Yeah. Either way, stormtroopers are pretty cool actually.
Mm.
And I don't know, just the Galactic Civil War, that whole era is
This is
pretty
better than the Republic War
I
or whatever it was called.
the Clone Wars. I
Yeah, the Clone
I actually like that. I mean, because it's different, and I think Clone Troopers are really cool.
They're pretty cool, but I think stormtroopers are cooler.
because they're original. I got they're the they're the original trilogy. So I
Actually,
feel like-
Tommy, do you want to play Battlefront?
sort maybe a little later.
All right.
Um,
I mean, yeah.
yeah. So Star Wars, awesome. We love it.
Great moves, Ethan. Proud of you. Keep it up.
Yeah. Well, I think this is about where we'll end it here.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Strange old men, strange old cave, or women, or whatever.
Whatever you
whatever-
prefer.
You whatever you are, you, strange old that in
Get
a
it.
strange old cave.
Yeah. Whatever you are, we're inviting you out of our cave. You know the exit.
Mhm.
It's the same way you came in,
Mhm.
because it's a cave. There's only one way in and one way out, and it's the
Mhm.
same.
Now, yeah, we need to get our sleep too. We need to live in our old cave. So, we're asking you to kindly get the hell out.
All right. We'll see you folks next week. Or
See you
not.
later.